and it's our pleasure to be part of this new initiative from CII. We have been associated with them since last 2.5 to 3 years since our inception. And we are today here to present very quickly on our products and services, which mainly focus on process plant fluctuation and how to approach to resolve the process fluctuations, whether it is worth doing that, what is the concept of process fluctuation in a typical plant, and how we have developed new products, innovative products and services to overall monitor them, diagnose the root causes of fluctuations and optimize the plant. Basically targeting sustainable solutions, green tech solution towards improvement of productivity, energy efficiency, enhancement, and moving towards world-class manufacturing practices without necessarily having to invest huge capex. So within the existing resources, what best can be done to extract more from the existing plants? That's the direction we have taken. And our focus areas typically are the process plants, namely cement, fertilizer, paper and pulp, power, steel, pharma, glass and ceramic. Though we can work with any processes, but we have been working with these core sectors in last 4 years. So to give you more about our brief about our company, Akxa Tech, AKXA, is pronounced as Akxa, stands for eyes, which we are basically trying to find out something which is not normally seen in any plant operations for different reasons. So this is incubated at IIT Madras, and we are recognized by Government of India as a startup company, one of the few DIPP recognized tech startup company. This is incubated in 2016 at IIT Madras, and it's a research driven company run by well qualified and well experienced. Though it's a tech startup company, all the promoters and the team members have wide experience in industries coming with plant commissioning, process optimization, and data analytics background. We have in our team chemical engineers. We have in our team developing engineers for our products, and instrumentation and mechanical engineers. So it's a multidisciplinary team giving you a concentrated solution across different OEM supplies or different technologies. So we are OEM agnostic. So the solutions and products work very well and merge very well with existing systems in your plant without having to rely or permissions requirement from other OEMs. So this has been, we have developed artificial intelligence and data analytics based algorithm tools, software tools, which is our main flagship product. And around that product, we have also built very interesting services which are benefit linked or benefit sharing based models, which can give you really win-win solution to all our customers. Then in very short span, we have grown across different sectors in India. We have 60 plus domestic customers as well as international customers over 9 countries as of now. We have been awarded as the innovative product company in energy efficiency sector by CII 2 years back. So what is our area, friends? Very quickly, our overall theme is data to knowledge. This is the space which is picking up large acceptance as well as, I should say, preference in a new setup where medium to big scale continuous process plants have invested heavily in automation. They have centralized CCRs where a single person is controlling a lot of variables or a lot of systems, or they are running on their own. And more than 1,000, 10,000 in some cases, variables are getting stored in the backup, in the memory, every second almost. So this huge terabyte of data every day is a huge inventory, we believe, which is rarely used. So can we make use of this, extract knowledge, and create the value to our customers? So because this data is like history, can it be replayed, seen in slow motion in different ways? And can we extract some very interesting inferences which can lead to process performance improvement or quality consistency, increase the asset utilization or equipment uptime, and ultimately enhance the energy efficiency, keeping all our other factors intact in terms of safety, environmental, and other things. We can still achieve higher productivity and energy efficiency in existing setups. So that is what we are searching for. because we believe there are fluctuations and variations in every plant and every operation, because the plant doesn't stay at exactly the point where you want, right? So you have productivities or plant key performance indicators. One day you achieve, let's say, 98% of the target. One day you achieve 95, one day you achieve 100. From production angle, the productivity is varying. That means the same setup can give you more sometimes it gives you less. It consumes more specific power or heat, or it consumes less specific power. So there are variations in existing equipments on a day-to-day basis, maybe. So what is that which is contributing to these variations? Can we pinpoint those? Is where we come into picture. So if there are large variations, you get less margin for improvement. So we help you to identify the root causes of these higher fluctuations, and ultimately help you to reduce this, build the solution to reduce this as well. So we are not just the observers at the plant. We will identify the gaps. We will help and sit with your team to optimize this as part of the service. And to sustain this at a lower level, we have products which can monitor online all these variations. And whenever there are deviations, we can pinpoint where is the root cause. So ultimately, our focus or value addition proposal is in understanding fluctuations as energy efficiency limiting factors. And if we reduce these fluctuations, we can improve the variance or reduce the variance, ultimately optimize the planned day averages in the setup. So is it worth it? When we did a small checkup, and when we were working with bigger plants, we were observing these things, that these fluctuations in a stabilized plant, in a well-commissioned plant, after the OEM leaves, there are a lot of changes which happen in your process. Raw material quality shifts. You are buying from different sources. Nowadays, you are forced to use additives from different other industrial wastes. So you don't have control over them. So they introduce a lot of fluctuations, and your process starts shifting from the best normal solutions, or you are running the plant at higher capacities from the design, 10% more already. Capacities have been hit, but the efficiencies are also getting affected during that time. So is it worth understanding the contribution of these kind of fluctuations? Are they really affecting, and is there worth chasing them and solving them so that we can save something out of the existing plant? And we saw very interesting numbers. In many plants, we have calciners or furnaces or heat related equipments where fuel is being fired, and typically monitor the temperature, which is basically used to control the fuel or the excess oxygen at the exit. All these, if the temperature is varying 1%, we are talking about variation, not in terms of whether the temperature set point is correct or wrong. That is your expertise. You will keep the set point, what is required. But whether it is maintained around what is required is what we are checking. There could be a lot of reasons for that. But if we know that there are higher variations, typically we have observed it can contribute to up to 1% higher fuel consumption, and it can lead to overall savings of worth more than $1 million or $500,000 per year. And this is consistently across different plants, different industries. Depending on the capacity, the number can be different. But this clear impact has been seen. The cost of fluctuation is serious enough to understand the root causes and resolve them. Likewise, if you have grinding systems, solid processing systems, typical variability of feed rates are very common. There are varying feeders, there are varying solid flow meters, which can contribute to all these variations, which is worth. In a boiler setup or in a waste heat recovery plant where the inlet gas is coming from another section, if there is a disturbance in that section, your CPP or your waste heat recovery plant will have the impact on that. So can we work on that variation and reduce that so that the average generation can go up? I will share some case studies just towards the end to prove that it is really worth to chase these fluctuations. And that's what we focus on. We have developed various means and ways and products which can automatically take your plant data, analyze it, and give you insights. Where are these coming from? And when we study this, so we have introduced a thing called fluctuation audit. So like your safety audit, energy audit, environmental audit, and financial audit, you can conduct a fluctuation audit of your plant, typically 3 to 4 days activity. We come out with gaps at all these layers. How your plant KPIs are varying, 5 to 10 variables. Typically, you want to see day-to-day variations. And you generally monitor this. You know this is final impact. But what is causing that is what we will study. So we go a layer down. We collect minute scale data from your parameters, lab data, other things, generally 25 to 100 variables. And we go one more layer down from your control systems automation area. Every second data is collected for 24 hours of around 100 to 500 variables depending on the plant and section. And then another layer below, we go to the panels and we record the performance of wave feeders, fans, VFD drives, which is very fast changing system at the field, because we believe the variations happening at that scale is ultimately impacting your performance on top scale. So this is a unique approach we have taken, and this is where it requires, it's not easy to do it manually. So we have used high-end data analytics algorithms in our software, and it can work and handle thousands of variables at different time scales in different sections. And on top of that, we have built in the process knowledge with our expertise in different fields. So this is how we take the data, high frequency data, as our input. We detect the abnormality. We give you root causes of these fluctuations and also help you to diminish or optimize the fluctuations in the plant. So we have series of products in this entire offering. In many plants, we have seen data capturing itself is a problem. Many places do not have good, full-fledged DCS. So we have built two different tools called Akxa Graphite. OPC is a common tool available in market, but our unique offerings are data capturing offerings, which is Graphite, which can just take the image trend. If you cannot export the data to Excel, you can take the picture of the graph and it will convert it to Excel file using digitization technique algorithm built inside. We have some techniques in many of your plants. There are bagging plants or there are packing plants where in 8 second, 9 second, you are filling a bag, but there is a lot of variation in the bag weights. Typically, we have seen this in cement plants, fertilizer plants, where granules are filled in 50 kg or powder is filled in 50 kg bags. Typically 400 grams to 200 grams is a variation coming in that. And if we can even save 10 grams, 30 grams out of this in long run, it saves in millions. In such cases, the data capturing is very difficult. So we have built a device called Digitize, which is a mountable video, which records the bag filling cycles, 10 to 15 bags, and it's a high resolution camera. It can convert it to a trend and then helps us to analyze where is the situation coming, whether it's fast filling or slow filling. So we have used these kind of tools, which can be also used without connecting to your existing setups. Maybe you may have legacy systems, old systems you don't want to touch, or the OEM has not giving you upgraded version. So you don't want to install any software. So this video tool helps you. You can put 30 to 40 tags on one CCR screen. This video will sit in front and every second it can record and send you the data wherever you want across your mobiles or to our another server. So these are data capturing solutions we have. Then we have analytic solutions. We have fluctuation assessment tools, which can tell you where are the variations. We have PID assessment, where are control systems, how are they working. And we have control elements, which are, we can detect abnormalities in valves, abnormalities in VFD drives, and all other wave feeders, which is another package we have. We have also developed a customized tool for some industries like soft sensors. We have developed NPK quality prediction for fertilizer industry, which can sit on the DCS, collect all the feed rates, etc., and calculate and tell you what's the ongoing fertilizer composition coming in the product. Whereas your lab may be taking once in 1.5 or 2 hours, this can give you every 10 minutes, at least 90% accurate data, which can help your operator to take decisions. In cement plants, we have developed plane prediction tools, and in power plants and in CPPs, we have developed smart combustion control systems, which can help to use multi-rate fuels. That means you have multiple fuels, especially in recovery boilers, waste heat boilers, where you have multiple sources of feed, gases or solids or waste. That's where you need smart combustion to adjust your air fuel ratios and still achieve higher efficiency in the boiler. So we take a full through assessment in the plant, right from benchmarking, diagnosis, analysis, and assessment, and take services to sustain the solutions for 6 months, 1 year, whatever is mutually beneficial for both the parties. So this is the approach we take. It's a complete offering. We just do diagnosis. We just do audits also to give you benchmarks. If you can resolve all the issues, good. If you want us to optimize, we take the solutions around that. We have subscription tools which can be used. You need not buy the tool softwares directly. You can use the subscription. If you like it, then shift it over to the perpetual license. So we have all the options of business models, whichever is suitable to your plants. We can work around and then give you the best solutions. So this is a portable device we have developed, like for the data capturing, which I was telling, which has the trend to data conversion, video to data conversion, without touching your system, without connecting physically to your servers. So all the security, other things are were taken care of this. Our strengths are, friends would like to say, we have multiple process expertise. So we come from chemical engineering background. So we see the problems as a process engineer rather than just instrumentation engineer or an electrical engineer would see it, because the problems are there in different ways. We are independent of equipment suppliers. We have worked on multiple equipments in process plants and utilities. We have worked on different capacities. We have worked with the DCS system of all the famous OEMs you can name. We can take data out of any of these. We can write logic in any of these DCS systems. So that is our strength. We bring complete solution. Nowadays, people are putting different systems from different OEMs, but when they integrate, there are a lot of interaction issues. So this is where we pitch in. We have products and solutions, one-stop product and solutions for many of your typical problems in process plants. And all this without necessarily having to put the capex, purely from existing resources, what can be done. So we have worked on these industries, namely, as I mentioned, cement, fertilizer, paper pulp, glass ceramic, power, and other plants. And scope in last 3 years, around 60 plus clients in India and clients abroad in Europe, US, Africa, as well as in Southern America and East Asia. Also, we are now exploring options. These are some of our clients where we have worked, either one-time services, whether audits or full-fledged services to all these plants. We have worked with majority cement plants in India. We have clients in USA, Europe, big groups, Titan, Dangote Cement, Ultratech. We are working with them on 20 lines now for optimizing energy optimization projects with them. We have rate contracts with ACCs and other things. So just give me last 10 minutes, 5 minutes to just quickly tell you where we have contributed. If anyone wants to get details, we can share these details, individual case studies we can share. But we have worked in different areas of different plants. But if you group them by sectors, or let's say equipment wise, we have worked in water treatment plants to control ozones and pH variation in a pharma plant, which has led to savings of reagents and other things. We have worked in HVAC systems for improving the temperature and relative humidity variations in typical large scale setups. This can be extended to buildings and other things. Though we don't have direct experience with buildings, but HVAC systems, we have pretty much experience in understanding their behavior given different disturbances in the plant. We have worked with power plant boilers. We have worked on oxygen, nitrogen plants. We have worked on compressor. These are utilities mainly where we have worked on, and all big plant process control systems we have worked where large savings or large impact is observed. Okay. Just to give you the idea, this is a typical cement plant example where we worked on calciner temperature. This is a graph over 10 days, how we made the improvements. This was a service contract taken. After this, the tool is installed to continuously ensure that the variation is low. The blue color is the variation in temperature. We started off with 14-degree variation plus minus across the set point. We optimized the main controller firing system. Then we optimize the disturbances coming from other area like the kiln hood, pressure variation. Then we optimize the cooler, which is also supplying the air to the pyro section. Then finally stabilize the air flows in the cooler. Ultimately, it has given the lower variation in the calciner temperature at different stages with different advantages, and over 6 months of observation, consistency and sustainability without having to put a new equipment, on an average 1% fuel saving. It may not appear big, but when we see this over 6 months, it's every day almost 6.5 tons of coal saving on a regular day. And on an average, it's almost 200,000 US dollar savings to this plant on 1 year, and up to 5% power saving in the pyro section, which comes to around 1200 units per day saving. This is another example where interaction is there. There is a WHRS waste heat recovery, typical of steel plants, cement plants, you talk where waste heat is available and that is brought to CPP. And there are interactions, disturbances, cascade effects, all these have to be taken. So we introduce new logics whenever it is there. especially when alternate fuels are used. We have very interesting new logics which are implemented in the existing DCS, which can lead to consistency, stability in the operation, increase production, and increase the megawatt generation. So typically of margins are available in the turbines. We can tell you, yes, we can use those margins and help you to enhance the production. This is about the quality consistency idea. In a fertilizer plant, they were facing problem in NPK variation. We worked in 2-3 areas. We found out the root cause. We gave the solutions in terms of stabilizing their sampling intervals, stabilizing their sampling methods. We also optimized the input flow. And then finally, we implemented one tool called nutrient prediction, which used to give them the feedback very quickly. Based on that, operator would be taking action. So ultimately, 15 to 20% rejection on different variation conditions. Along with excess nutrient also is reduced. Those levels are reduced. We worked in a typical steel foundry. We worked on a compressor, variable speed compressor with variable load coming on it. Same VFD drive, Danfoss VFD panel settings we optimized for the running conditions of the plant based on the shift differences and load conditions. And it can just lead to 17% lower kilowatt and around 300 units per day saving. Typically use taking the data from the model, using it and telling them what is wrong, what settings you have to change. These are pure service models. And sustain this, we have the tools available to sustain that. This is an example from pharma coating section where they were having issues in delayed startup cycle. 45 minutes was taken to reach the set point where coating would start. And that we reduced to 8.5 minutes by understanding where is it, what is it that is causing this delay. And finally, 18% lower startup heat, which is indirectly steam consumption saving, and up to 9% productivity increase because batch to batch gap we have reduced. They can immediately empty, start it, especially when power trips are there. You can restart it very quickly. So the productivity, which is a huge contribution in a pharma industry, which we have done. This is another plant in paper pulp industry and in ceramic industry where oxygen plant purity was not coming. This was 25 years old plant. The supplier stopped the services for this model. We took it up. We optimized the pressure swing adsorption ratios, pressures and wall openings. Purity was not coming up to the mark. So they were adding additional liquid oxygen from outside to make up the purity. That was additional utility usage. When we stabilized the plant, the purity improved by 3% on an average and 80% reduction in liquid oxygen, nearly 40,000 rupees per day saving in this without having to install anything, just purely data analysis using our algorithms. Water treatment plants, pH control improvement, ozone regulation improvement. These are regulatory issues. They cannot cross certain limits. These are the bands. We brought them within the brands in the existing setup, especially ozone and the pH regulations. Yes, that's my last slide. How do we implement this? We have a lot of option, friends, to suit your needs. We take up first level trainings as well. What is this fluctuation? Whether to identify, what does this mean? Whether it's affecting. Then we take audit services, one-time audits on site or even remote. If you give us access, we can do it remotely. We have done it for more than 17, 18 plants during COVID time. Everything controlled from a small place in Belgaum, Karnataka, controlling operations across plants in Europe. Annual contracts we take for continuous improvement. Then for the software, we have subscription modes. You can take 6-month subscriptions. You don't have to install. This is there on cloud. You can log in, send the data to us, or you can directly analyze the data. You will get exclusive accounts for you. If you like the product, you can take it, install it centrally. The product is designed to handle multiple plants simultaneously, multiple equipments. You don't have to buy separate licenses for each plant if you are corporate structure. We take up specific projects of Industry 4.0, not hardware side, namely the data analysis side. If you have typical problems of fluctuations, quality not coming, variation in efficiency, variation in productivity, we can help you in many ways, friends. So we have our certificates, testimonials in last 3 years, much more than this is recognition from CIA, which we really cherish and their support so far. Thank you very much. If you have any queries, please write to us or I will stay back till the end of this session so that I can answer. Thank you.